We're gonna be ranking every single Spider-Man movie on a tier list, but there's a catch. There can only be one Spider-Man movie at the top. S tier. Since 2002, we've gotten 15 more Spider-Man films, and I think we should start off strong.
Let's start off strong.
Spider-Man 2002, the movie that started it all. Oh my goodness, the memories.
Listen, I love me some OG Spider-Man.
The thing about this Spider-Man movie that it's not just a comic book movie, it's cinema. I will say, William Dafoe, I don't think he meant to do it on purpose. He was freaking hilarious in this movie.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think he meant to do it on purpose.
Nah, I think bro was having fun.
You can't do this to me.
I started this company. You know how much I sacrificed?
And then the other one, where he's about to get stabbed by the glider, he's like, oh, his final word.
Oh.
When he walks up to Spider-Man, lays down, slap him in the back of the head.
You know what I was processing? Don't tell me this dude pulled up on Aunt May because she slapped his hand during Thanksgiving. You remember when he tried to eat before everybody? I think personally, bro, so there could only be one S tier movie. I can't place Spider-Man 1 at S tier.
I agree.
If it's only gonna be one S tier, I can't place it at S tier. So next best would be A.
I could do A. That's a perfect spot. Since we got the rule, only one S.
Only one.
We got our next film, which is gonna be 2018 Sony Animation Pictures Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I don't know how it got made. I don't know how they succeeded.
Sony at that.
Sony.
Oh
now listen, this movie, I think it caught everyone by surprise. It was an animated Spider-Man movie, but I think this might be like peak Spider-Man content.
When Into the Spider-Verse was announced, I was like, oh, this is just a cash grab. Like, I wasn't really feeling the animation style just yet. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, you guys are trying to skimp out on the budget? Like what are we doing, bro? Like, and then also, Miles was fresh. Like, Miles was brand new. If we think about it, this is one of the first times a new character was created in a comic and immediately gets his own movie. I remember watching it in theaters and I just shut up after that. I remember the movie finished and I was like, whoa, was I supposed to enjoy it that much? That's one of those movies where I was like, yo, this made me feel something. Did Sony just do that?
The niggas, I don't believe it.
Yo!
If we're being completely honest, we should have seen this coming once they announced that Phil Lord and Christopher Miller were taking full control of the project. Phil Lord and Chris Miller did the Lego Movie and 21 Jump Street. I feel like we was hating too easy without knowing that they was attached to it.
Yeah, it's a contender for S tier.
It is a contender for S tier, but knowing what's to come and the fact that we're only on the second movie, I can give it A.
I'm not gonna lie, I think I could live with A. I think we should revisit this one. Some of the Sony issues come up because of this movie right here.
I don't know, but y'all know it made $1 billion.
Brilliant, billion, zillion dollars at the box office. And then it made so much money, they had to bring it back into theaters.
Back in the theaters. So that was crazy.
To sweep. The fact that somebody in a board meeting thought this was a good idea.
I don't think a Morbius movie was the issue. And I don't think Jared Leto was the issue either. It was the writing.
We know Sony can't make him a complete bad guy because he's the titular character. So he can't just go around harming people. So they find a way to make Morbius drink synthetic blood, while the antagonist of the film, Milo, grew up with Morbius. He gets the same abilities, but he does not care. I'm not gonna hold you, but we do get a fun dance scene in this. Bro got his powers and started dancing.
Just feeling it. Like,
that's the one thing I'll give this movie. The rule is this: if you know your movie is dumb, you gotta add a dance number. But this movie is a whole lot of nothing, bro. Let's not hate all the way. The visual effects were fire. Sony will F up a movie, but their ImageWorks visual effects production house, they do their job.
I can agree with that.
What you giving this movie on the ranking?
We got our first F movie, y'all. Following Sony's trend for not wanting to let go of their Spider-Man properties and giving us Spider-Man villain-led movies, we have 2018's Venom.
I remember when this movie came out, we saw Upgrade together.
Yeah.
This is basically, Upgrade was basically Venom, I'm not gonna lie, but better.
But if we're being completely honest about this movie, majority of the problems come from the fact that it just feels outdated. It feels like one of those early 2000 movies. I feel like if this movie came out around the time of Silver Surfer, it would be loved.
Numbers.
It would be loved.
Cult classic for sure.
I mean, it's mid. It's a mid movie, but
yeah.
it's that peak mid.
It's the mid that we talk about. Like, I could rewatch Venom. I mean, I'm not going to, but I could.
It's high grade mid. That's a D. If I want to be generous, that's a D.
I'm gonna agree with that. Fun fact, Sony's been trying to do Venom for a minute. That wasn't the first time they attempted Venom. My all-time favorite Spider-Man movie. I don't care what nobody says. This might be S tier. Are you guys ready? Spider-Man 3. Nah, I'm just joking. I'm not gonna throw this at S tier, but I need y'all to fully understand that this is cinema. I don't think without this movie, I don't exist as a person. I remember 2007 like it was yesterday. I remember the exact theater we were in. People were sitting on the stairs to watch Spider-Man 3. I love this movie, bro. I'm gonna say Spider-Man 3 was way ahead of its time. Like, this movie arguably was one of the first times on screen that we see a hero fall from grace. We got 3 villains here, and I think we could also include one more villain, MJ.
Okay, cool.
MJ is terrible.
I agree.
I think MJ was just more mad at Peter because he's the most confident he's ever been. She's like feeding off of him.
I was just about to say that toxic shit.
But that's the beauty of this story, ego. Venom also represents like having to strip that ego.
I don't care for it as much as you do. The strongest memory I have of this movie is that it came out on my birthday. That's
yeah,
it. That's
you're a Star Wars baby. I'm gonna say Spider-Man 3 was one of the first times, like I think that's when I was born. I had watched all the trailers. I knew the dialogue for the trailers line by line. I remember when I was a kid, that's probably one of the best trailers we ever saw. It was attached to Superman Returns. Remember Superman Returns? That was so trash. And that was the best part of Superman Returns. The trailer for Spider-Man 3. I remembered in the trailer, you see that black suit. That was the teaser. I was like, oh my gosh, Spider-Man got a black suit. I gotta watch it. But then the final trailer, the news announcer, he was like, this might be the end for Spider-Man. And I was like, no, not Spider-Man.
This could be the end of Spider-Man.
And I'm like, this is gonna be the greatest movie ever created. And I'm like a child. I remember my PSP having the wallpaper, bro. Like, now as much as I wanna throw this in S tier, I'll admit I could throw this movie into the B tier. My love for Spider-Man 3 is the reason why I also can't get into what Marvel is doing right now. We fast forward 10 years later to 2017 and Spider-Man gets a movie under the Marvel banner somehow. Spider-Man Homecoming. And this one, there's no origins for Peter. It starts off with Peter in the Tony Stark suit because you need to have watched Civil War for you to understand why that happened. Things happen where Spider-Man ends up having to go back to his OG suit because he wasn't listening to Tony Stark. Tony Stark basically tells him,
if you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it, okay?
It's the with great power comes great responsibility moment. I like that line. That's cool. It's powerful, but
I guess.
But in between all that, there's like a homecoming dance. They end up going on a DC trip. For me, I feel like it's all over the place.
I feel like you're constantly hating on the only one that was actually watchable. As someone who hates all of them, like this was one of the better ones. I don't hate the movie as much as you do. I feel like this one's actually watchable. Homecoming has Michael Keaton. Ain't shit. There ain't shit in Venom compared to Michael Keaton.
Okay, so you said high grade mid, so that means a D.
Yeah, a D. That's a D. On the topic of mid, this next addition to our list was up for People's Choice Awards favorite movie of the year and also Hawaiian Film Critics Society's worst film of the year.
Bro, how is it the best and the worst film, bro?
Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. I don't know. Listen, the thing about this movie was it was just mid. It 100% knew what it wanted to be though. Listen, this movie was disappointing to say the least. There were several things wrong with it, several things they could have changed that could have potentially made it better. Let me start with the pros. Andy Serkis as the director. This was his directorial debut.
Good for him.
I was excited. I like how, like in the first film, you know, when Venom transforms, it sort of like comes out his back and wraps around him like a protective shell. Whereas with Carnage, it just looks like bro's just ripping out of Woody Harrelson's face. I love that so much. Now for the cons. I think a driving factor was the fact that they didn't make the movie R-rated. First of all, Venom was already an issue with it being PG-13. They got away with it in the first one by being smart, cutting away at certain times. Carnage needed to be rated R. I needed pure blood splatter. I needed to see him actually eat somebody's brains. And I didn't need them to sit there and hold back.
What you giving this movie?
Oh, buddy, we gave Venom a D, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an E movie, bro.
Damn.
This is bottom of the barrel.
2012 is where my hatred for Sony began. I was so ready for Spider-Man 4. And for whatever freaking reason, MTV has an article of a brand new Spider-Man suit. And some guy boy named Andrew Garfield. Now, I still gave it a chance though. They showed a teaser and it was Spider-Man giving a little kid a mask to climb up out of the car, which is like one of the pivotal scenes. And I was like, oh snap, that's what Spider-Man's about. And that's when I realized, all right, there could be more than one Spider-Man. 2012, we got the Amazing Spider-Man, but instead of MJ, we got Gwen Stacy played by Emma Stone. First of all, great casting on both parts. And I like the suit. I like the Spider-Man suit.
A lot of people hated it. I genuinely didn't have an issue with it. I thought it was cool because it was like slightly different. It was still Spider-Man suit.
Yeah.
The world knows this is my favorite movies, my favorite Spider-Man.
Oh, really?
This is my don't disrespect me.
I thought it was Tom Holland.
He got jokes. Nah, this is my movie. I'm not gonna let the bias take too much control. Might be an S tier contender, but I'm not gonna let the bias take control. B, bias. Okay. B for biased.
Oh, wow. We agree on B then. We agree on B.
B for biased.
Spider-Man Far From Home came out 2019. I think a big thing that I hate about these Spider-Man stuff too is like, what is the home thing about?
If we being honest, bro, these movies, I think Tom Holland just carries these movies.
He slept on as an actor.
If he wasn't such a great actor, I don't think we would give a fuck about these movies.
Damn, that's a great point.
Y'all also gonna hate me for this one, but it goes Andrew, Tom, Tobey. I'm sorry. Andrew and Tom, they're just better actors, bro. I'm sorry. And we love Tobey, but bro ain't known for his acting chops.
You can't say we love Tobey and then put him at 3.
I'm not saying he a shitty actor. He's just not better than the other two.
It's because they British?
Damn, that might be it. That might, you know, British to be tweaking.
I just remember really liking the visual effects. There's nothing else to it.
I think that might be my biggest pro for the movie also.
If I'm gonna rank Spider-Man Far From Home, I'll give it a D.
I will also give it a D for dumb.
So far, both of the Marvel Spider-Man movies are at D, which is crazy because I know there's probably some people that would put all 3 at S.
The year's 2014. Everything is beautiful. It's my birthday again. And we going to the movies to watch what should have been the greatest Spider-Man movie ever. In case you haven't figured it out yet, The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Damn, I remember this. Yeah, we went together.
Yeah, we went deep.
Yeah, yo, it was mad, and I dressed up as Electro, and Jamie Foxx either liked or retweeted my tweet.
And this also marked the downfall for Sony for me.
I lost my faith way earlier than that.
I lost faith because they fucked up my movie. Let's run through the pros first. Golly, can they film a motherfucker swinging, boy? Yo, listen.
Ooh, that was an upgrade. That was an upgrade.
No, that was a major. They went in and they tweaked.
And I remember they did, like, that was part of the marketing campaign. There's more pros to this movie though.
Yeah, the acting. Yes, the acting.
They was on fire with that, bro.
Yo, they played no game.
Andrew Garfield, Gwen Stacy, the chemistry was crazy between everybody.
I think this was the first time I got emotional. I'm like, ooh. And it wasn't for the scene that you're thinking. I didn't really care when it happened.
I think I know what scene you got emotional.
It wasn't up until bro hit the floor, got up to her. I still didn't cry yet. It wasn't until he grabbed her, looked into her, moved her hair, and said, no, Gwen, Gwen, Gwen. No, I still wasn't tearing. Yeah. It wasn't until Gwen. Gwen. No, please.
We ain't even mentioned, we said everybody else but Dane DeHaan. Where is Dane DeHaan?
Dane DeHaan.
He needs more roles. Is he okay?
Where is Dane DeHaan?
There was a lot going for it. Because I agree with you. I think this could have hands down been one of the greatest Spider-Man movies that we've ever gotten if it wasn't from Sony. Electro wasn't necessary. The story should have followed Green Goblin, that friendship. You haven't seen him since God knows how long, and you guys are best friends? This is where the cons start to come in. Why did they introduce the Sinister Six?
Yeah, that's where they started to fuck up at. They were trying too hard.
That's that MCU shit. I remember this is just before Batman v Superman. This is a really good time to be alive.
2012 to 2016.
Yeah.
With full bias, I gotta be honest, I'm gonna give it a C.
Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I understand the C. Yo, this has more pros than Amazing Spider-Man though. If Amazing Spider-Man is B, what do we have here? Amazing Spider-Man is B. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna say Amazing Spider-Man should be C and Amazing Spider-Man 2 should be B. There's too much good stuff going.
The only thing is,
there's a lot of cons.
The story for Amazing Spider-Man was better because it wasn't trying to be a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
That's only, I know the memories attached to, I want to put it higher, bro. Like, you know, I want to put it higher.
I'm thinking about it, bro. I don't know.
Overall, as a movie, Amazing Spider-Man 1 is just better. But if we go full bias, it's Amazing Spider-Man 2 for us.
Bro, why not put it at B, bro? But it don't gotta be like above Amazing Spider-Man 1. It'll be right behind Amazing Spider-Man 1.
Hey man, come on.
Yeah,
Wait, listen, come on.
We gotta move it from C to B, bro. Cause I'm thinking about it, like, yo, we really sat here and we spoke about the movie, and now we gotta talk about Madam Web.
Now the fun starts. The year's 2024.
This movie was unnecessary.
Everything about this movie was just bad. Plot, bad. Acting, bad. I do want to say, if they would have had better writers, a different plot, it could have made a good TV show.
Yes, I think it would have made a better book, to be even more specific, because I think the whole idea of clairvoyance in film is already difficult to do. Madam Web is an F, but it's above Morbius.
Okay, why? So I would have put Morbius above Madam Web.
Oh, you bugged out.
At least Morbius had something. I'm not gonna sit here and put beautiful women over good VFX.
He said, I know why you're putting it above Morbius.
Like, at least Morbius had something. A dance number.
No,
you
that
gonna
was
talk
fun.
about Madam Web's dance number?
Madam Web should have had a dance number.
It did. Exactly.
In the coffee shop,
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
trash. Because they just look like dots. Cause it's like, why are you on the table dancing for these dudes, bro?
Exactly.
I didn't even get to see Venom: The Last Dance yet. I kind of skipped out on this one because I felt like in the marketing they were trying to tease, oh, there's a potential of Spider-Man's coming up. Like, I see the tactic that they doing, bro. I'm not falling for it. Out of spite for them trying to trick me.
I didn't watch it either.
So I feel like we're gonna have to leave it up to Tony.
Oh, phone a friend.
Phone a friend in. Yeah.
Check it out. I think with Venom 3, it's definitely not as good as 1 and not as good as 2. I think 3's fun, but we barely see Venom. The story's very wishy-washy. There's a lot of plot holes. I would definitely go E tier. Might honestly be F, but I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna go E.
We're nearing down to only 3 Spider-Man movies left. Damn, we don't have no S-tier movies just yet. It's 2021, the panorama just finished, and Sony decides, hey, I want to drop a multiverse movie. Let's create a movie called Spider-Man No Way Home.
No, actually, they said Into the Spider-Verse did well. Let's do another multiverse movie.
Spider-Man No Way Home is horrible writing.
Yes.
I think this is a masterclass on how not to write a movie.
Yes. This movie started the downfall. This one made almost $2 billion. And they said, yo, I want more of that. So now that's all they're giving us. I'm looking at you, Deadpool and Wolverine.
In theaters, I had a good experience in theaters watching the film. It felt good seeing Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire come back because those are the Spider-Men we grew up on. I thought it was really fun watching all 3 of them swing at the same time. Emotions came up for me watching Tobey again. There were some pros to the movie, the pros being the nostalgia, but that's not good writing. Now, watch that movie over again. This is probably one of the most ugliest films that's ever been released. And they tried to make the excuse because it's a COVID film.
Yes, bro, I can't stand that excuse, cuz. I can't stand that excuse, bro.
What are you giving No Way Home?
I think F.
Whoa.
Because listen, it wouldn't be fair to put it next to the D's. Because we discussed that D is at least high grade mid. If Andrew Garfield and Tobey was not in that movie, I would not give a rat's ass about that movie, nor would I ever speak about it again. And look, everybody be completely honest. Whenever you talk about that movie, you mention a Spider-Man. You don't talk about the plot because you don't care. I don't want to be that guy. I'm that guy.
Nah. I agree with you. I understand you. I'm just thinking though, I'm like, damn, but like, you don't think we being too harsh putting it down? Yo, we sending this to the shadow realm, bro.
I do not like that movie. I will not be watching it again unless I'm on YouTube looking at
the scenes of all of them together.
Yes, like, and that's a 2 hour and 20-minute movie. You telling me the only thing I liked about it is the 5 minutes that they were swinging together? Come on, man. Like, and then it took him 3 movies to actually become Spider-Man. It took him 3 movies to learn what our favorite Spider-Man learned in 1. Get out of here, bro.
I want to be fair and give it a D. All of those movies deserve a D. Tom Holland is a good actor.
But that's also why we got the other 2 in D. We're also talking about his acting. But this one got a shit ton more cons than the other 2.
Spider-Man literally had a magic box of everything. Like, you went into the room and created a magic box that fixed the problems of every single villain.
The problem solver.
Yeah, yo, the problem solver is crazy. Okay, E. I could give it E. You putting it at F?
No, E.
Oh, okay.
People are gonna hate us, 100%. But if you can't argue none of our points, don't come in here with your bias.
All right, so now we're finally at the final 2 movies, and we still have not picked an S tier movie. Out of these 2 movies, only one of them could be S tier. Spider-Man 2, Peter's having a horrible time balancing out his regular life and the Spider-Man life. And this is constantly eating away at his relationships. And he can't even keep a job. So then he's broke all the time. Look, man, this movie hits so hard. Spider-Man 2 just means a lot to me. And then he has the mentor figure of Dr. Otto Octavius, who's not even a bad man. He's just like, it's just unfortunate.
Yeah.
He just becomes like just straight up super villain. Why are you building a son?
Niggas, I need money for like, bank.
For a noble reason though. Yo, I cried rewatching Spider-Man 2. And I tried to hold back tears. I was in the I remember watching in theaters, I was like this. And tears just started flowing down my face, bro. And specifically it was at that scene when Aunt May was like,
I believe there's a hero in all of us.
When Spider-Man was like, he quit, he moved on to do other things. Cause it's like, bro, that's what happened. Like, yo, you are in the for so long, like you're doing the work for so long and nothing's working. So I was like, yo, f it, I'm gonna stop this. And she's like, that kid right there wants to be just like Spider-Man. And Peter's like, why the f would he want to be Spider-Man? Because he knows being Spider-Man is not a glamorous life. There's like a lot of sacrifices that you gotta make. But there goes this kid that looks up to him and it gives him a reason. Aunt May is like rooting for him. I'm like getting goosebumps. Aunt May is like rooting for him. He means something. His work means something, and that's when he's able to like click it back on and go back to being Spider-Man. This movie's so deep to me. It hits me on like a whole different level, especially being older, and you watch it over and it's just like, damn, bro, like this captures the human experience so well. It doesn't matter what you got going on, it captures it.
Like, I have absolutely nothing to say. You literally stole everything. But what I would say is this movie does have one of my favorite scenes. I don't care what anybody says. One of my favorite scenes in a comic book movie. He goes, whoa, Spider-Man just stole that guy's pizza.
Whoa! He stole that guy's pizza!
That's the greatest scene in a comic book movie ever, bro. I don't, just because of the way it plays. New York already isn't a fan of Spider-Man so much. So the first thing they see is this say, yo, he just stole that guy's pizza.
And it's because of JJ.
Raimi's New York is New York. Spider-Man 2 to me feels like a comic book.
Spider-Man 2 is up there for me in S tier.
Okay, while I do agree, we do have one more movie left. And that movie is 2023's Across the Spider-Verse. Listen, man, no, listen, this movie, it was cinema, hands down.
I agree.
I don't know the last time I went through so many emotions while watching a movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Happy, sad, angry, some tears coming up, all while being able to jam to a fire sound like, yo.
I think they topped the first one with this.
Oh, 100%.
I think this is a Terminator 2 situation.
100%.
Terminator 1 is really good, but since we established how the rules work, it's time to get going, bro. And that's what they do. Like, they don't waste any time to the point where we still gotta wait for another part, bro.
Facts.
We got in-depth character analysis. Just like you, I shed tears, bro. The scene with the mother, when the mom is like, yo, like, no matter what they tell you, no matter how they try to tell you don't belong or whatever, first off, you're loved. Second off, you about to show them who's boss. And what does Miles do? Puts hands on every single Spider-Man. But then on top of that, the people that he's closest to, that he thought he could be close to, betrayed him. Peter B. Parker, Spider-Gwen, homie, the only one that come through. The reason why Miles works so well in this and why Miles comes into his own is because he's not using any of the stuff that belonged to Peter Parker. He is Spider-Man. Like, nobody could tell him that he's not Spider-Man. I agree with you. This could be an S tier contender. There could only be one, bro.
I am going to have to go with Across the Spider-Verse. I think I just felt more with it. Like, I think they're literally at the same, like, 99.98% go, both of them at the same. They're the same exact, I can't say the same any other way.
But they could only be one S tier.
They're the exact same, but I'm gonna have to go with Across simply because it made me feel a certain way. And I feel like it also causes people to look at animated movies differently.
We got a contender here. There could only be one. We're gonna have to phone in a friend again. But the rules are we cannot tell him anything. Like, we can't tell him whose side or whatever. It's
Just ask him, what do you think is better?
Spider-Man 2 or Across the Spider-Verse. Whatever he says is what ends up in S tier. Sound good? All right, let's call Tony.
Spider-Man 2 shits on Across the Spider-Verse. This is a hero story. We're seeing Peter lose his identity, his self-identity, and I think he's trying to get to realize that while he has this great villain who's not even trying to be a villain. He's a good guy trying to do good. And MJ, obviously, MJ's a real villain, but the odds are stacked against Peter in this movie. This truly shows a Spider-Man character's strength. Whereas Across the Spider-Verse, yeah, there's a lot stacked against Miles. I would say there's too much going on in Across the Spider-Verse to be the quintessential Spider-Man movie. This tier list is supposed to be the best accurate version of a Spider-Man. And I think that you don't get any better than Spider-Man 2.
So it's
And
settled.
there you have it, folks.
It's settled. Spider-Man 2 is the winner at the only S tier movie. But the thing, Across the Spider-Verse is a strong contender. Look, Spider-Man has a lot of beautiful stories. Outside of the MCU stuff and then the weird spin-off Madam Web stuff, I think we just love Spider-Man so much because somehow he finds a way to speak to us. Like, it's not like Superman. You appeal to Superman because how cool it is that someone with all that power is so inherently responsible. Whereas Spider-Man has to find that balance. He's just like us. We're all trying to figure it out. I'm very grateful Stan Lee existed because he's given us some great stuff.
Yes,
And
100%.
outside of Sonic, it's been Spider-Man and Batman that really shaped me. And if you guys like this video, you guys are going to love our Batman tier list, and we'll see you in the next encounter.
Peace.